Hey everyone, it's Rob Van Dyson again. I'm back up here at Hobble Creek. You'll probably notice I'm in a different location than I normally am. And that kind of plays into what I wanted to talk about today. So, I have a spot that I usually record at. In a lot of ways, it's a fairly ideal spot. It's close to the road, so I park my truck, walk in, maybe 3 minutes. And I have a spot where I have a good view of the creek, which is nice for me. I have a log to sit on, and I have a fire pit there, so on days where it's kind of cold like today, I can actually consider building a fire relatively easily. Well, I come up to my spot, and there was this young couple sitting there with their dog, just enjoying the creek. And so I had to figure out what I was going to do. I've always known this was a possibility. It's out of the way, but not so out of the way that I never see other people down there. And so I just walked downstream a little bit, and I actually found a spot. In some ways, it's better. I am more out of the way. I am less likely to have someone walk through while I'm recording a video. But I'm sitting on the ground. Today, that's not that big of a deal. We had a little bit of rain this morning, but for the most part, everything's dry. And I don't have a fire pit. I wouldn't mind a fire right now, but in the long stream of things, or in the long run of things, it's not that big of a deal. But the main thing is, I didn't go up there, see the people there, and oh no, I can't record my video. It's just, okay. I'm going to do what they taught me in the Marines, and I believe that all branches use this same saying of improvise, adapt, and overcome. Well, I just adapted. I walked a little bit further down, found a nice spot, and I'm able to record my video. And therefore, I overcame the problem I had, which was someone was in the spot I normally record in. Now, once again, big picture, that's a very small thing. But there are people who would get so thrown off by that they couldn't, that they wouldn't have recorded the video. And here's the thing. There's another saying in the military. And once again, applying towards military action, but no plan survives contact with the enemy. And the saying of that is, you can have this intricate plan or this very well thought out, well orchestrated plan, but the enemy isn't going to play by your notebooks. It's not like you send them the plans and say, this is what you will do. They are going to actively try to disrupt any plans that you might have. You set up a defense, and you plan for them to come in from the left. Well, the enemy commander is going to look at a map and say, you know what, I bet he's planning on me coming in from the left. I'm going to come in from the right. In some ways, it's going to be less ideal for me, but it's going to be better than for me to come exactly where he expects me to come in. And so, let's say there's a young lieutenant, someone without a lot of experience, and he has this all planned out. Yeah, they're going to come in from the left. I'm going to have this set up just perfectly. And all of a sudden, the enemy starts coming in from the right. He now has to adjust all of his plans on the fly to compensate for that. And it might not be that the entire enemy comes from the left, but part comes in from the comes in from the right, but a part comes from the left, but all of a sudden this attack comes in from the right. And there's this moment where a lot of people, immediately freeze. And in some ways, everyone freezes. But the conditioning is, okay, I got something thrown at me that I wasn't expecting. I need to either improvise, I need to adapt my strategy, and I need to then overcome this attack. And we need to apply that towards life. Because you know what? In life in general, I don't care if you're running a paper route. I don't care if you are running a Fortune 500 company. I don't care if you're just trying to make plans to go out for dinner. Life has a way of just throwing these small little curveballs at you. And you need to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome. A road might be closed. Okay, well, there are more than one way to get to where you're looking to go. There's more than one way to go. More than one means of transportation to get where you need to go. And you know what? Sometimes the interaction is confrontational, especially in things like business, where you have competitors, and so you're trying to think of running your business a certain way. And, you have competitors, who are going after the same clientele that you are, and they are trying to get those same clients. Well, you need to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Sometimes that adaptation might be, okay, well, I'm going to adjust my marketing, or I'm going to run a sale, or I'm going to do this or that to get those clients. Sometimes you're looking and going, you know what? I'm not going to be able to compete with this particular person. So I am going to adapt to niche down, where I'm going to find the clients that they are not serving well. The small minority that whatever product or service that they are offering kind of sort of works, but not really. And I'm going to focus on them, and I'm going to adapt my product or service or my marketing to better suit them. And you can niche down and not try and go head to head with that larger company. But either way, you are going to have to adapt. You're going to have to improvise. You're going to have to overcome. And just by knowing that that's going to happen to you at some point, big scale, small scale, somewhere in between, when it happens, the way it happens might be a surprise, but the fact that it happened won't be. And so you're then able to say, immediately start turning the wheels. Okay, I planned for X. I'm getting X plus something, or I'm getting Y. Okay, I can work with that. What do I need to do to adapt and overcome? As an example, when I first started setting up for Evermore, the plan was that I would set up for Evermore, and that Matt would come in potentially as a partner, that we'd work something out. It all turned out that it was better for Matt. I initiated the first contact with Evermore to try and get the sales. It turned out that Matt was in a better position to take advantage of that. So I turned over all my contacts to Matt. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, Matt is the person who I apprenticed with blacksmithing. And so Matt is actually running Evermore sales, and basically what I do is I sell my stock to Matt, and Matt sells it, and then I just go in as a friend to help Matt sell his stuff. And by being able to adapt, where I'm not trying to force myself into a position where I am not ready to take that step, but Matt is, by myself turning it over to Matt and coming in more as a support role, I'm in a lot better position than if I tried to force it. And because I've established that relationship with Matt, because I trust Matt, I'm able to still get the benefit of selling my stuff and making a little extra money. Life is like that, And if you get yourself in a position where something comes up and you automatically just freeze and either just give up, I don't have what I need to sell it at Evermore. I don't have my business license yet. I am not registered with the state as a business. I don't have an LLC. Well, I could have just walked away and continue on with life, not making the extra money, just with a hobby. But because I adapted, and Matt was willing to step up and say, hey, yeah, I can do this, I'm moving forward. And so just by doing that, I'm able to position myself better, and I'm able to move forward. And you know what? I can start using some of that money that I'm making, start saving it up, and being able to start moving it towards where I can afford to get my own LLC and my own infrastructure in place, where if a situation comes up and it makes more sense for me to do it by myself, or maybe with Matt as a support role, that I can do it. But I'm still moving forward. I'm still moving towards my objective. Anyways, just something to think about. Keep in mind, no plan is going to survive contact with the enemy. And once again, that enemy may have a face, it may not. It just might be life, a road closed, or some other little hiccup that you just did not foresee coming. Train yourself to improvise, adapt, and overcome, with the goal of the improvisation and the adaptation being to overcome whatever is standing in your way. Alright, well, once again, this is Rob Van Dyson, encouraging you to evaluate and figure out what your goals in life are and to move towards them. Alright, Van Dyson out.